Welcome back to Killer Fun, where we explore the intersection of crime and entertainment every other week. I'm Christy, and today, Jackie and I are on hiatus. We're taking a little break to celebrate the holidays and have a little time to catch up on some things. But that does not mean that we don't have fresh, new content for you. And this hiatus has a packed schedule. Let me tell you, we have lots of episodes ready for you at a increased schedule than what we normally have. But today we have outtakes from Kleo, They Cloned Tyrone, and The Crowded Room. And these are back from August and September. Things that we just weren't able to include in those episodes. All of it's here, little asides, fun, interesting facts. All of that's here for you today. We're starting off with Kleo. There's yawning, flubs, forgotten words, a story about a temper tantrum from one of my kids, the truth about Stern Radio, jeans in East Germany, what the heck is moss cake, black market cigarettes, and more. Enjoy. Every time I hit record, it doesn't matter when, what show.
You just immediately.
Every time. Okay. You don't hear a lot of text after they stop talking.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, like they fit the
Translation?
Not lyrics. Not lyrics.
Dialogue?
Thank you. So, nope. Can't do it from memory. That's why I wrote it down.
Okay.
I spent all this time making notes. God damn it,
Just
I better
read it.
use them.
It's funny.
Big Eden was real.
Okay.
It was a real nightclub founded by Playboy.
We've not done this in a hot second.
No.
Wow.
I haven't even had a drink yet.
No.
Good Lord. Maybe I should have a
Maybe
drink.
you should have one. That's what we're doing wrong.
That's
okay.
right. If such an order is universally, but when the Iron Curtain fell in 1999, that was not 1999,
No.
it was 1989.
So anytime somebody's screaming at you, you don't feel loved.
Right. Well, right.
But so as a parent, you have to take yourself out of that mentally and be like, this is not about me.
Right.
Right?
Right.
We have to do that. But the kid can't do that. So,
Right.
but if you as a mom don't do that, you grow up like, they're always screaming at me. They're always throwing that tantrum. They don't feel that lovey feeling with their kid all the time because it's always a fight. Mm-hmm. Habits are born.
Yeah.
You know?
I remember. This an aside, probably going to be in a bonus episode at some point. So when my youngest was about 5,
Okay.
they were just holy terror one night. Just defiant about everything, angry. Well, they had eaten already.
Okay.
And I was like, I had enough. I'm like, okay, well, it's time to take a bath and go to bed. Mm-hmm. It's not time yet. I'm telling you that it's time for you to do this. This is your health and safety. You are fine. You can, I know that you don't like it, but this is what we're going to do. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to take a bath. I said, okay, that's fine. You don't have to take a bath, but you do have to go to bed.
Yeah.
You have to brush your teeth and go to bed. I know I will take a bath.
And now we want to stay up longer.
And I'm like, I put that kid to bed at like 6:15. They sat in their room and screamed for but I went real gray rock, real calm.
Yeah.
I was not going to do the yelling back. Mm-mm. It was I love you very much. And you are exhausted. And that is the problem. I took myself out of the situation, pulled myself away from being yelled at and said, why is this child yelling at me? It's not because I've done anything that deserves yelling at, because I've done that too. I've done things that I deserve to be yelled at for. I'm just going to admit that.
I think we all have.
But you know what? I had not done anything that deserved it. I'm like, this is an exhausted child.
Yeah.
I put that kid, and they screamed in their room for half an hour, went to sleep, and woke up 12 hours later as a new person.
That's great. And you needed them to go to bed because you needed a break too.
I needed them to go to bed. And I was like, you know what? You're not that dirty.
Yeah, go to bed.
You're fine.
Yeah, this is what Febreze is for. Just a spray a can of Lysol as they're walking by.
Yeah.
I kid.
Close enough.
I kid. Ah, it's funny.
So Cleo's day job was working for Stern Radio Entertainment Electronics. They took liberties with the name.
Okay.
So mostly it was the actual name of the organization was VEB Stern-Radio.
Okay.
And the name of the city it was operating in. So
okay.
It was Stern Radio Berlin, Stern Radio Sonnenberg.
Okay, that makes sense.
That was it. So it was a real company. The SKR 800 cassette recorder that she was accused of giving the plans to someone else.
Right.
Was a real product, but it didn't go into production until 1990.
Okay.
So theoretically, they might have already had plans for it that she would have been leaking, but she had one that she gave to her grandfather.
Yeah.
So it's a little off, but it was also not a groundbreaking piece of equipment. It was a boombox with a cassette in it.
Yeah, where they weren't first. I mean, by any means with that time-wise.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Of course, I guess part of it is that maybe the plans were dual purpose in some way.
Or just it was an excuse to put her in jail.
Really, that's what it is.
That's really what it is. After the fall of the Berlin Wall, somebody mentions that people are wearing jeans.
Yes.
Shocking. Out in the open in East Germany. I was like, why is it so shocking? Well, because Levi's were a huge thing in East Germany prior to the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Okay.
And they were illicit.
Okay.
Which I don't know how people just got to be able to wear them out if they were, it was that much of a problem, but they did. So basically, teens wore them to try and show that they were rejecting the ideals of East Germany, that they wanted to be more like West Germany.
Okay.
That was how they wanted to be. It was risky, provocative.
They could be arrested, right? For this?
They could be arrested for this. But even if they weren't arrested, it could affect whether they could get an apartment. If they could go to university.
Wow.
I mean, even if they didn't arrest you for it,
it was cited you or whatever.
It went into your Stasi file and may affect everything about your life. Wow. Mm-hmm. So now they did sell Levi's in East Germany, but they were in duty-free stores, and only visitors or like European sailors who were in the country for reasons were able to buy it. East Germans weren't allowed to shop there.
Wow.
They would go for as much as $500 on the black market.
Ooh.
In the 80s.
I mean, in the 80s. Wow.
That was a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
Cleo's peeved at her grandfather.
Oh,
she's
indeed.
released from prison justifiably. And so she gets there, and he knows that the political prisoners have all been released. He's been waiting for this day. Mm-hmm. And so when she shows up, he's not particularly surprised. And he offers her moss cake.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I neither. So I'm like, what is moss cake? I like cake. I'd like to know what moss cake is. Moss cake is green.
Okay.
Okay. And after it's baked, you reserve a little bit of the cake and you ice it, and then you crumple up the cake and put it over top of the whole cake so that it looks like moss.
Okay.
And it is green.
Okay.
But it does not have any food coloring.
Okay, so what is it?
Spinach.
Oh.
Which sounds awful, but evidently it doesn't taste like spinach at all.
Well, yeah, because I mean, like, you have those certain breads, like a zucchini bread.
Yeah.
You know.
It doesn't really, or carrot cake. You can pretend that it's healthy.
Yeah, you could.
Carrot cake and zucchini bread are not really any more healthy for you than
No.
any other type of dessert.
No. But so it's like a spinach cake.
It's a spinach cake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe one day.
Yeah. We'll see. It is most popular in Poland and the Czech Republic. So it makes sense that it would have made its way to East Germany.
Yeah.
So Sven, in a desire to be seen as a real detective,
Yeah.
he was like a financial crimes detective and was bored out of his gourd, out of his melon.
Yeah, it's melon.
He tries to interject a problem that needs to be solved in a meeting. The Vietnamese immigrants are selling black market cigarettes. The officers laugh at him.
Like, whatever.
But it was a real thing that was happening. They just weren't very concerned with it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, but I was like, what is that?
Like, what was so special about this?
All right. So, Yale's publication Globalist had an article about this in 2010. So, there were immigrants from North Vietnam to the Berlin in the mid 1980s.
Okay.
And it was a socialist brother country invitation. They could come and basically do work that the Germans didn't want to do. When the Iron Curtain fell in 1989, most of them lost their jobs and they weren't well documented. They didn't have residency papers. They didn't have assets. They worked in isolated communities. So most of them didn't even speak German.
Wow.
Yeah. So they had to turn to other ways to survive. Now, some of them would do flower stands or food or things like that. And some began dealing in cigarettes. I was like, but why? Well, because cigarettes are very, very heavily taxed in Germany. They remain so. They were that way then. They remain so today. So they would get smuggled in by the carton and then they'd be sold either as packs or singles on the street.
Okay. Wow.
To avoid this taxation. So it became theoretically a lucrative market. So some people did make a lot of money, but most of them were trafficked. Most of the Vietnamese people who went to Germany and were promised an easy way to make money were trafficked there and they have to pay off their debt for their ability to be there. Well, but then they still don't have papers and it's all a very ugly situation. But it was a real thing that maybe really should have been cracked down upon so that
Yeah, but they didn't care.
But they didn't care that much.
No.
So they just let it go. And I guess it still happens.
So. For all that organization and paper keeping.
Yeah, you would think. Hey, Jackie. Sleep is so important to our bodies and our mental health, right?
Oh, I'm super passionate about this.
I do, because it can be really difficult to get a good night's sleep.
Well, especially with our culture the way it is, like, oh, I'll sleep when I'm dead. No. You'll be dead because you don't sleep. That's how that works.
That's right. We want to get at least 6 or 7 hours of sleep a night, right? Because,
for your general adult, that is exactly what we need.
Yeah.
Sleep hygiene is everything. And I get really nerdy about this, really fast. So I'm so sorry. But sleep hygiene is so important. And so having a routine that helps us get into our sleep, super important.
And that is why we are delighted to be telling you today about our new sponsor, woohoo, Host Red Ad. We're talking about Beam Dream. This is a supplement. It's all natural. Man, it's just so great.
It's delicious and it helps us with our sleep hygiene. So
today, our listeners get a special discount on Beam's Dream Powders, their best-selling hot cocoa for sleep with no added sugar. We know how important that is.
No added sugar and no allergens.
That's right. It's available in delicious seasonal flavors like cinnamon cacao, sea salt caramel, and white chocolate peppermint. Better Sleep has never tasted better. And it is so tasty.
It is really tasty. It's yum yum. It's like dark chocolate. It's delicious.
Uh-huh.
And as someone who has a dairy thing, I can't do dairy, so I don't get to eat chocolate a whole lot.
I know.
This was yum.
And you can mix this into water or milk. It's just delightful. A recent clinical study revealed Dream helped 93% of users wake up feeling more refreshed, and 93% reported that Dream helped them get a more restful night's sleep. So if you want to try Beam's best-selling Dream Powder, take advantage of their biggest sale of the year, up to 50% off for a limited time when you go to shopbeam.com/killerfun. The discount is applied at checkout, so there is no code necessary. It could not be easier. That's shopbeam, BEAM.com/killerfun for up to 50% off.
And for a killer night's sleep.
Up next, we have Outtakes from They Cloned Tyrone. This was one of our favorite movies that we have covered in a long time. It was super, super fun, really interesting, had a lot of fantastic stuff that was about race and culture and all kinds of stuff. We had a false start. We talk about celebs on the street. Would you recognize Madonna if you saw her in a CVS? We talk a little bit about Jamie Foxx's mystery illness. I missed a nickname. We remember tube TVs. We talk about NFTs. We try and parse the lies. We talked about respect for teachers, snitches, and for the love of all that's good and holy, drink a glass of water. Enjoy. Welcome back to Killer Fun, where they explore.
They
cloned Tyrone.
They cloned Tyrone.
That was hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I have a story about that, so
Okay.
I cannot wait to tell you.
Okay.
I will save it.
I say that as somebody who I think would not recognize celebrities on the street.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because I'll see like those, celebrities without their makeup, they're like at CVS doing their shopping. I'm like, how did you even know to take a picture of them? Because now that you say who it is,
now I know.
I can see it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But, if I saw Madonna,
oh, definitely not Madonna.
in a Chipotle.
No, because a lot of stars now, like celebrities, they have such a public persona, like more like I would think akin to like Hollywood Regency.
Yeah.
Where like a lot of them, they have their hair a certain way, their makeup is a certain way, their style, but that's only their performance. I may not recognize them either.
You wouldn't recognize Adele?
Oh, no.
If she had her hair all like just in, a top bun in her pajamas in a Walmart.
No, if Ariana took off the ponytail, I would not know her.
No, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jamie Foxx is Slick Charles, pimp extraordinaire.
I mean, it's so good.
I mean, of course, he's been in tons of stuff.
Yeah.
He was the Ray Charles biopic.
I would say he was the most recognizable one, but that also may be because we grew up with Jamie Foxx, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Django Unchained, Dreamgirls. He did have a mystery health situation. In April 2023, he went to the hospital and spent at least several weeks in the hospital.
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
It was a whole thing. And he's not yet said what the situation was, but he's finally starting to do better now in September of 2023.
Yeah, scary.
Like in July, he came out and said, I'm almost okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was scary waiting for his like messages on social media.
Oh, I know, because there was his daughter posted about it, and it was like, oh my gosh, what? Did he have a stroke? What happened? Nobody knows, but I don't know. I'm just glad he's doing better.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So Tiona Paris is Yo-Yo, the whip-smart, totally sassy sex worker. Early in her career, she was in CSI.
Oh, okay.
Just a single episode.
Just a single episode.
A rite of passage.
Oh, it is. It is. It has to be one of those procedurals.
Right.
She was awesome.
Yeah.
She was so fun. I just loved her.
Oh, good. Oh, in this.
No, in this.
Yes.
Yeah, in this. I didn't see that.
I was like,
I'm just saying, like, no, in this, she was so good.
Okay.
Yeah. It was so good. I had to stop and pause a bunch because like I was watching it and then life interrupted.
Yeah,
So
that's what it does.
But today I finally got to finish it. So today I'm sitting there and we get to the end part where Tyrone has where Tay has him shoot.
No, Fontaine.
Yeah, Tay.
Yeah.
They call him Tay all the time.
I guess I didn't notice that.
Yeah, they call him Tay, which is why I thought it was Tyrone.
Like
but it's not
Tay.
Tyrone, it's Fontaine.
Yeah.
So, but when Tyrone or Fontaine has his clone shoot the real one, right? And he pulls the gunshot, it goes off, and I'm like, oh my God. And that's where KJ comes around the corner to tell me the toilet's broken. And I was like, even now. He was like, I'm so sorry. You were sitting over here so happy. I was like, no, but it's okay.
The toilet broke?
Oh, yeah, that's the handle.
Oh, okay.
Plastic piece broke again.
It sucks.
It's fine, but just replace it.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah,
it was just like, pause.
Yeah.
But there was this moment where it was a very sad moment where Fontaine throws the bottle at the TV.
No,
But it's an old TV.
Yeah, it's a tube TV.
So it breaks, and on the floor, the TV doesn't have a scratch on it. And I'm like, paused it. It's a sad moment, but I'm laughing because I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot how like beastly these TVs were. Like now, I totally expected as soon as the bottle went, that TV was gonna bust.
No.
And it bounced off of it. And then I was like, that's so, it's like this really oddly dark, funny moment right in the middle of like his absolute tragedy.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah. What an experience.
NFTs use blockchain, and that, those were like, this is the next big thing, and now they've kind of like all but disappeared.
They've kind of fizzled out. Yeah. I feel like they may have a resurgence because I feel like nobody marketed the fact that this was here. Like nobody had control over like let's pitch the vision to those who are brand new to this. Like why this matters, why it's cool. You know what I mean? Because I think it takes a bit to go, oh, I see why that's still something you can own and appreciate and whatever.
Right.
But like, I think it has to be, somebody needs to do a good pitch. you know, like,
right.
Like,
Well, and the whole ape thing. The unhappy apes, or I don't know.
They're so funny.
What are they?
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called, but it was so funny.
But all the celebrities bought all the apes, and now they're like, they spent millions of dollars on these things, and now they're like worth nothing.
Yeah, no.
So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's just as fine that I don't understand it very well. But I'm like, good for Yo-Yo. She gets it. She's smart.
She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
Like the whole art thing I struggle with. But things like the person who owns the first tweet.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. I can understand why. Oh, okay. That's interesting. That really is a cultural milestone. But somebody does. That's an NFT.
Right.
Right. To get the original first back end quote. First tweet.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So like those are like big things, like somebody has the first email kind of thing. Like, oh, look at that. Like it's cool. You know?
It's
artifacts.
cool. Except they're not tweets anymore, evidently.
Well, it was then.
I know.
I can't.
So dumb.
I can't even.
It's always going to be tweets.
I don't have enough space to change my brain about sweet right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's just not a priority.
No. It's never going to be a priority for me. It's always going to be a tweet.
Yeah, I think so.
Sorry, Elon. It's always going to be a tweet to me.
Yeah, it is.
I'm really not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Anybody can say, this is an illicit organization. It's weird that there's like a Wikipedia page about it.
Wait, you're saying he didn't win it?
No. Slick Charles.
Yeah, you're saying he didn't win it?
No.
Yeah, he won it.
No, he didn't. He doesn't remember winning it. He remembers winning it, but he never actually did.
Well, but the one we know, you mean?
I think you think
the original one lied?
Yeah.
And so I thought what he was saying was like the way that they were talking about, like they just realized that they're clones, so that they're not the ones that actually experience the memories.
Right.
So he didn't win it, but that his original did.
I don't know that his original even did.
Why? What gives you pause about it?
I kind of thought like it was the, if you repeat a lie so much, you eventually start to believe it sort of thing. Like he feels like he won it, but I don't know that he even really did. Like it's like an implanted memory.
Oh, I didn't catch any clues for that. Like, I don't know.
That was, that's interesting.
Because it's like Fontaine says, well, and I don't have a little brother.
Right. But I still love him.
But I still love him.
Right. And so, yeah, I guess maybe he did. I don't know.
Because I think that was the hard realization, was that
Yeah.
it was like not that all these memories in his brain of his good times and his, you know, youth when he was like super cool are really not even real. So now he's got the age to deal with, the fact that he's a clone. Like,
Right.
it was just, yeah.
Right. And so I don't know, that the only thing that maybe made me think that was kind of near the end, because Fontaine isn't Fontaine everywhere. Does that make sense? I'm trying to say this without being too spoilery.
Oh, just
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe spoiler alert.
Yeah,
Spoiler
well,
alert.
I'm gonna put this bit in the bonus
Okay,
when it
all
comes
right.
out eventually.
Okay.
So the old Fontaine.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Right. Old Fontaine, and then there's young Fontaine. But then at the very end, when in Los Angeles, his name's not Fontaine; it's Tyrone.
Right.
They have different names. So I think that they maybe all have different memories too. Like some of that, he even said, I gave all of you the memory of our little brother.
Right.
So, but that doesn't mean they all have a shared young memory. They just shared this one aspect of it. So
maybe he's not the...
he's this pimp. Maybe he's never been to the Players Ball. Maybe he never won but they gave him that to
solidify his role.
Right, to solidify his role, or to give him confidence of his standing in the community.
Right. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know that.
Okay. Yeah. No, that could be
Right.
totally possible.
Yeah, and they might not even know what year it actually is. I think that's why they keep the communities so insular.
Right.
Was that, especially in places like the Glen, you know, they keep it really insular so that they don't know, because we saw how old Fontaine was, and then there was the clones of Slick Charles.
All
if
older.
he won in 95, it would have been much older, right? I mean, it would have been like he remembers winning in 95, but what if it's like 2060? You know?
Yeah, if it's in the way future, then
Right.
we have a situation like that. If 95,
right, which
that would have been us,
right, yeah.
and so he would be our age now,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we know he's older than us in the movie,
right.
So he would have been in his 20s,
Right.
95,
Yeah, which wouldn't make sense.
which would make sense if it's today,
Right.
But they leave it open for the possibilities.
For
the possibilities of did he win, did he not? Right. We know Fontaine had a brother because the original confirmed it.
Right.
But he doesn't have a mom.
Right.
We figured that out.
Right. Oh my God.
So, okay. All right. All right. I'm with you.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
There's just so much in this.
I know. Back to the original.
All right.
We might need a part 2. I don't know. We might need a part 2.
I'm going to cut stuff out.
I
It'll
know,
be fine.
but we got so much to say about this.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I just wish that we would see teaching the way Finland sees teaching, where it's a very professional, it's a difficult and revered career, and the pay starts out not great, but as you advance and get additional, just years of experience under your belt, they're revered like doctors.
Yeah.
So you tell somebody, oh, my child's a teacher, and they're like, oh, that's like saying that your doctor's a lawyer or a doctor, or, whatever, something, whatever career you think is
amazing.
Really impressive.
Yeah.
Investment banker or whatever, I mean, I wish we would see our teachers that way.
Yeah.
Because our children are worth it.
Our children are worth it, but a mindset change in the home, unfortunately, is just not enough to change the system.
Right.
And I don't have much answers. So
No.
I'm just one of those sitting around going, I don't know how to help.
No.
I don't know how to help.
No.
Because I have some learned helplessness as a parent.
Well,
Right? To know that like sometimes it's just better to keep your head down.
yeah.
That's terrible, y'all.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
It is.
You know.
That's all right. It's We try and do better. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so Junebug.
Oh, yeah.
Junebug told Fontaine that he was ready to move on from snitching to something more substantial, which we assume to be dealing drugs.
Yes.
He was ready at, 10 or whatever. It's difficult to say how often gangs use children and young teens, tweens and teens.
Right.
Because there's not good statistics on this. It's a hard thing to sort of measure. It varies widely from organization to organization. It's not reliable for the statistics that you are able to find.
You found something.
Oh, well, not about gangs.
Okay.
About police officers in the UK who use children as snitches.
Oh. Okay.
So, one thing they have done is they have started recognizing that this was a problem, and particularly in certain areas of the UK. So, there was a lot of articles written about it. There was a big push to understand that these children were forced into this situation, that they, instead of looking at them as drug dealers, looking at them as victims of exploitation.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
This is the way they should be looked at.
Exactly.
14-year-old does not have agency to actually consent to any of this.
Really, they don't have any power, so the choice is kind of a non-choice.
Right, exactly. So they just think they have a choice to make themselves feel better.
Right.
Yeah. So they're called covert human intelligence sources. So in August of 2018, the police wanted to be able to start using these CHIS, the covert human intelligence sources, for longer than a month. They had been restricted to a single month.
Okay.
And they wanted to expand that to 3 months. And when they brought it up and were trying to get it expanded is when everybody found out that they're using children.
Yeah. Like all of a sudden they're like, wait, what is happening here?
Yes. So there was a children's charity, Just for Kids Law, who challenged this practice.
Okay.
Bafflingly, the courts sided with the police.
Oh.
And the organizer of the children's charity said that it ignores the power imbalance.
Right.
So there's a power imbalance of these kids in the gangs. They don't really have a choice to choose it. The police tried to say the kids, volunteered for this, but it ignores the idea that you've arrested a child for drug dealing.
And threatening them with life-altering consequences.
Right. Or snitch on your friends.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot of choice
as Eddie
to
Izzard
me.
once said.
Right.
Cake or death.
Right. Yes.
Cake,
exactly.
please.
So in 2020, that got rolled back a little bit.
Okay.
They could only use these human intelligence sources for exceptional circumstances.
Okay.
So it got a little bit better. Mm-hmm. And they said anybody who was under the age of 16, so I guess they decided 16 and 17, they could, they're close enough to be able to make their choices.
That's a grayer area.
But 16 and under, actually, so 17, 18, they can make their own choices. 16 and under, they had to have a responsible adult. Okay, that makes sense, except that the responsible adult could be somebody within the police organization who was running the
Oh, no.
sting.
No.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's not great. Not great.
Not great.
No.
Wow.
Like, don't do that.
Yikes. There's got to be a better way.
Yeah.
I understand that these kids are making mischief, violent mischief.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. And I also understand that they need some upbringing as part of this. And part of that is saying you need to tell the truth about what's happening. However, in this situation, they're really being leveraged against like literal consequences that are not controlled by a safety net.
Right.
A parent finds out that this is happening and it's like, nope, now we're going to change gears, but this is what you're doing. That power imbalance is rooted in a goal that's for the child's well-being.
Right.
Whereas theirs isn't a goal to close a case.
Yeah.
And I know they're doing good. I know they're trying to do good.
I mean, that's the
But
thing.
they're not, but they would, I don't know. It just seems like they're sacrificing the well-being of the child on the altar of the good they're doing.
They are children.
Yeah, it's not mutually exclusive. There is a way
Right.
for both to do good
Yeah.
and do well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try not involving kids.
Yeah, let's protect the kids. Maybe
Yeah.
protect
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, let's do that.
I like that.
Let's do that.
So Fontaine takes a crew to a trap house to revisit an elevator that he found with Slick Charles and Yo-Yo. When they get there, it's gone.
It's not just gone. The whole place is like redone.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
done. It's
Yeah.
got like
It's
house
been
furniture.
erased.
It has been completely changed. And so his friend tells him he should drink some water.
Oh my God, I died.
I mean,
Because
I did
I hear
too.
that all the time. Every time there's something wrong with me, it's like, drink some water.
I say it all the time because my children will be like, I have a headache. I'm sorry. Have you had some water or a Gatorade?
Yeah.
This is always my first answer
That's-
because I know they don't drink enough water.
Right. Yeah.
I know I don't drink enough water. So if I start to feel like crap,
Yeah.
the first thing I do is go grab a cup.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel terrible. Why do I feel terrible? I'm going to drink some water.
Drink some water.
Well, let's just say psychology today. Dehydration can lead to mental problems. Now, people who already have mental problems,
Yeah.
typically, it is that it can be exacerbated. So having hallucinations, if you're a schizophrenic, can be exacerbated by dehydration.
Right.
So they can feel excessively thirsty or or not drink enough.
Right.
And it exacerbates both ways. And that it messes with the sodium levels
Right,
in
that's
your
what
body.
it is.
So
Yeah.
probably not bad advice.
Probably not bad advice, but don't. Just don't.
I mean, well, you can offer, that's fine, because he looked crazy. But instead of saying, what, dude, you're a mess.
Yeah.
He said, I always feel better when I drink
He was
a bottle
so
of water. He
sweet.
was so nice. But we learned from Frog
Yeah.
that it's in the water. He
Yeah.
literally said it's in the water.
Yeah. He did say that. Oh my gosh, he did
He
say
was,
that. He knows stuff.
he told Fontaine he had that new car smell.
Yeah, I know. That was such a good one.
Died. It was so great.
He knows so much.
Yeah. Well, when you live to be 104.
A 4. I mean, seriously. Which is why his cup is always empty. He's waiting on that alcohol.
That's right. All of the sources that we use to inform our discussion here on Killer Fun Podcast can be found on our social media. Join us on Facebook at Killer Fun Podcast, exploring the intersection of crime and entertainment. You can find us on Twitter at Killer Fun Pod, or you can send us an email at killerfunpodcast@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to share a link to whatever information you're looking for. We love to hear from you. You might learn a little something too. One more thing. Today is our outtakes from The Crowded Room. I do an inadvertent Julia Child reference. We talk about Ed Norton playing DID characters. That's dissociative identity disorder. Flubs, banks. Is that Rockefeller Center or the UN? And raccoons as pets. Enjoy. This first episode. The episode.
You sound like Julia Child.
Oh my God. Okay. Did you ever watch Julia on HBO?
No.
Oh my gosh. It's so good. Do yourself a favor.
Okay. All right. I
mean,
okay, we'll do.
totally an aside, but like,
Okay.
it is so good. We've watched it. Josh and I have watched it twice because
Wow.
we watched it ourselves and then we watched it with Ray.
Oh my gosh.
It's
okay.
so good. It's so good.
All right.
Okay.
Revisit. All right. Is it just me? I want to Google. I want to figure out what happened.
Oh, I know. I'll
tell
you.
me.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
Don't Google. I know.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me.
So-
so you got a plan to tell me this? Okay. Good. All right. Good.
I do.
And
Okay.
all I could think was Edward Norton did it better. both times.
Uh-huh.
Because he's done this both.
Right.
He's done the DID thing twice.
Wow. What other show did he do?
So, you have like the Fight Club,
Right.
right? Him and Brad Pitt. He was also in, hold on, I'm out, I have a brain fart.
That's fine.
Fear. No, Fearless. Not Fear. That's Mark Wahlberg. Oh, shoot. Hold on.
Fine.
Let me.
That's fine. Look it up.
Primal Fear.
So the marquee, when they come out of the subway for Radio City Music Hall, had, did I say musical or music hall?
I think you said music hall, but I may have just
And then
filled in the blank myself. I have no idea.
I'm going to say that again.
Okay.
Muddy Waters was listed as not scheduling. And most banks closed at the latest at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
I remember when we were in college, right after I first met him, and the bank that he had his bank account at closed at like 3 p.m.
Yeah.
every day. I mean, this was in the 90s.
I mean,
and he was like, it was such a pain for him because he'd have to like figure out how to go at lunch or like if he was working and they didn't have weekend hours. And then I was like, you should get a account at the credit union. I'm like, they're open on Saturday. He was like, they are open on Saturdays.
Well, and that made such a big difference then because you had to go there to do things like deposit checks.
Right.
And get cash or deposit cash.
Right.
Right? Like to do all the things. You had to do all the things there. But it was a great place to have a job.
Yeah.
Because look at those hours.
Right. Exactly.
Hello.
Well, and I mean, people would work past that. They work till 5.
Yeah, but like not with Customer Central.
Right.
Like, holy crap. Like,
Yeah.
it's not bad.
Yeah,
But
not bad.
now I'm like, you could go back to those hours,
That's right.
'cause, I don't see you for anything.
Right.
I have a
Exactly.
bank that barely exists. It actually exists tremendously. They have an entire campus. But nobody actually goes there to bank.
Right.
It's just there because that's the headquarters of all the things.
Right.
But like I've literally been there once.
Really?
To USAA?
Yeah.
Gosh. Once.
Oh.
Why do I need to go?
Oh, I go to the credit union 2-3 times a year probably
Yeah.
for different things, variety of things.
Yeah, no,
But-
I don't. I deposit every check on my phone.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know,
it's so
like,
easy. It's so
Yeah,
easy.
and they were the first. I believe I'm correct, but if they weren't the first, they might have been one of the very first to have the mobile check.
banking. Yeah. Yeah. It's
Because they were definitely mobile before everybody else.
Right.
Because they were military central.
right.
So
yes.
that's what it was all about.
Right.
Can I just aside right now?
Sure.
I realized I'd never seen Rockefeller Center without the ice skating rink.
Yes. I mean, all those people are sitting there. I'm like, why are they at the UN? That's what I thought because they got all the flags. And I was like, why are they at the UN?
I was
that's weird. It doesn't.
I was like, first of all, did they have turf back then? Because that looks particularly beautiful. And also, like, I was like, oh my gosh, I've never seen it without not on TV and not in person. Every time I've been there in person, ice skating rink. Apparently, I only go in winter. And
Evidently.
then on TV, I had never seen it before without the ice skating rink. Could not believe it. So, all right, I'm back now.
There
That
we
was
go.
an interesting thing.
Okay, another aside. My mom knew a lady who rescued 2 raccoons as babies.
Oh.
And she kept them as pets.
Oh.
And she had to lock all of her cabinets because they liked the way the dishes sound when they broke. And they were
They're not wrong.
No.
It is delightful.
But I want to hear, I want to hear the dishes break, but I don't want to be responsible for cleaning it up and I don't want it to be my dishes.
No.
Right. Next time. And next time is next week. That's right. I am upping our schedule for our hiatus because we have these games that we played that were provided to us from Hunt a Killer. And the first one that we played was Mystery at Magnolia Gardens. I have our spoiler full gameplay. Back when that episode first aired, we did a spoiler free version of it. But if you want to hear how we solved that mystery, next week, the whole gameplay, a very long time, except for all the dead air space where it was just like boring and there was nothing to listen to. I cut all that out. But there is our interesting gameplay, how we solve the puzzles, all of that will be there for you next week. We hope that you had a wonderful holiday and that you are having a wonderful 2024 start. Until next time, be safe, be kind, and wash your hands.
Da, da, da.